Yesterday, I saw the film for the first time, but it was actually the first screening for an audience unit that were people working on it.
Yeah.
So was that interesting for you to kind of show it to?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely interesting. You know, it was, for me, it was a fresh way to watch it because, you know, I've been watching it by myself or with people that were working with me on the movie, so you tend to watch it with them from a very kind of analytical point of view, and then you sit with an audience and you get to experience their reactions of watching it for the first time, and you get to see things that work that, you know, you weren't sure about, or it just gives you a fresh perspective.
To be able to bring Tron to the big screen, obviously it's been 3 years in the making.
Right, right.
So I have to ask, you know, because it all started with this kind of teaser that showed at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And so for you to even convince Jeff, was that a tough kind of sell, or was it like a pretty easy?
You know, I had a meeting with him, and we didn't have a script yet. I just had an idea. I had some storyboards, and I had a kind of rough narrative of the movie. He was interested in, you know, knowing what happened to Kevin Flynn and kind of what kind of character he was going to play in this film. And, you know, and it was amazing that he agreed to sign on for that VFX test at that early of a stage, but that's really what made it real, I think, to the fans who saw it at Comic-Con. The moment that they saw Jeff on the screen, I think, you know, that's when they just went crazy. And
when you do a movie like this, Tron is perfect for a 3D kind of environment. So when you are setting it up and shooting it with technology that, I don't know, you kind of are helping develop even, I don't know, was that, as a filmmaker, how do you kind of get in there and be technical and at the same time still be able to tell a story?
It's a balance. I mean, you can't let the technology get in the way of the storytelling. So that was part of my job, was, you know, you got to be aware, you got to make sure everything's working, but your actors, you know, you can't let it restrict them from doing what they need to do. So on a movie like this, it's a tough balance. Yeah.
Were there certain things, because we are doing a special on 3D also,
yeah.
so were there things about this film in particular that's never been done before that you kind of brought to the?
Yeah, I mean, we developed a new version of the 3D camera system that was developed by James Cameron for this movie using the latest Sony cameras. We created fully illuminated suits, which actually emit light. Which was a first and something we had to kind of build from scratch. And then, you know, we've created a digital character in Clue, this fully digital human being that's playing in scenes opposite real human beings. And that was a huge challenge, but one, you know, an exciting one.
It must have been interesting to see Jeff play the versions, like he played Flynn and he plays Clue. So what kind of direction do you give a person who obviously knows the character so well,
yeah.
you know, and so what can you do to kind of make sure that
it's a challenge, but, you know, it's one that Jeff, I think that's one of the reasons he was drawn to this project, was he's always interested in trying new things, and the opportunity to play opposite himself was a sight to behold. I mean, there's some really incredible work up there on the screen, and I got to witness it from both sides, him playing both characters. And when you see the performances melded together, it creates some really exciting scenes that you just haven't seen before.
I have architect friends, and I just know that the second I saw the safe house, that was a space that an architect person, it's like their wet dream. So,
right.
So obviously, was that one of those moments where you're like, finally, I get to do something that is of my
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun one, because that started with a sketch I did on a pad, you know, a couple years ago, and we built it digitally for the VFX test. But then for the movie, I got to build it for real. So the day I walked onto that set in real life was a pretty surreal one for me, pretty exciting.
Everybody, you know, I know that when somebody works on a film for so long, they might leave little inside jokes maybe on the screen. Was there anything that you might have done that only you and maybe your, you know, close friends that worked on it? Was it like a car would drive by something and maybe it would, I don't know, was there anything that you kind of?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of Easter eggs hidden in there for the fans of the original movie. There's some stuff in there, you know, I'm sure that only me and my editorial crew get a kick out of.
Share just one, just anyone.
I don't want to ruin it yet. We'll wait till the movie's out, and then maybe we can talk about it.
All right,
okay.
Cool.